As promised, joining me now is Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Governor, it's great to see you. I know you've been busy governing and on a red state tour, so thank you so much for taking the time.
Well, thanks for having me, Jen, and congratulations on your new show and time slot. It's good to be with you.
Thank you so much. There's so many things I want to talk to you about. I just want to start by putting up the headline that I started this show with, and here it is. U.S. pushes nations facing tariffs to approve Musk's Starlink. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, that whole segment was just, I think, for many of us, not surprising. But I would caution all your viewers, I know that, don't normalize this. This is Donald Trump at the one thing he does best, grifting. I say this, that I think the biggest myth that's been, brought to the American public is this guy knows anything about business, running a good business, treating workers fairly, growing in terms of helping the economy for others. It's all about the grift. And I think the frustrating thing is that we're dealing here in a legislative session that we deal with the fallout of what he's done. We're trying to figure out, I was at a food bank today with partners, local, county, state, trying to figure out with the proposed cuts to the programs that most impact people who need it most. At the same time, you see this going on. So look, it's not surprising, but it's corruption. It's the things that, as you said, I loved the example of Jimmy Carter gave up his interest in his family's peanut farm, and most of us, and I'm very proud, I was one of the original authors of Stock Act, making sure members of Congress shouldn't trade stocks. And I think when you're in elected office, you shouldn't do that. The Trumps see it very differently. It's about enriching themselves, enriching his sons, enriching those and his donors. And I truly worry that the access to that office endangers not just our democracy. He is doing nothing in people's lives. The people that we care about, he's not doing it.
I think that the contrast, as you said, is the point here, right? I mean, he's unwilling to commit to giving exemptions for strollers and things like that, but he is allowing his best buddy in the Oval Office to seemingly make money. Let me ask you, you said something in the New Yorker in March I thought was really interesting. I mean, you said we should prepare for the worst case scenario. I think many of us feel that. We're just over 100 days in, and I guess I can only start. I mean, are we in the worst case scenario right now, or what are you exactly preparing for as governor?
No, I think it gets worse, Jen. I don't say that as a pessimist. I say it as about a realist. We will win this. We will win it because the Constitution stays strong. We're still seeing the courts, while they're under stress, upholding. I see Donald Trump, and I said it many months ago, that he will eventually try and incarcerate political opponents. We saw it, whether, threatening my neighbor and dear friend and a man of, perfect character in Tony Evers next door, to threatening people who don't fall in line. Look, we're going to have a military parade for him. I was only half tongue-in-cheek saying this guy will be in a military uniform before long. He is fully headed towards authoritarianism. It is fully about the corruption about those who are around him, and we're still trying to function out here in the states and as governors in a way that I'm negotiating in good faith with Republican legislators here, but it feels a little bit, of bailing the Titanic with a thimble, in terms of we're trying to make sure that our children eat, our schools are funded, and I hear nothing from them other than destruction.
One of the reasons I love talking to people like you and other governors is that you described your job as kind of firewall, and I think others have described it like that as well. A lot of people are wondering kind of what can be done to stop this? I mean, what does that firewall look like as you prepare for other things the Trump administration could be doing?
Yeah, I think using the existing laws to the best we can, where state laws stand up for people, whether it's around reproductive freedoms, protecting, our children from some of these policies. But I too, Jen, and I know I listened to you talking to my friend Pete Buttigieg, makes a great point of this. We have to provide an alternative. All of what you're talking about here, I think what haunts me is that they still voted for this guy, and they didn't believe we were standing with the working class. And I had a great example today, something, as a teacher and as governor, I'm very proud of. Our state announced our graduation rates are the highest they've ever been in our state history. That's no coincidence. We provided free breakfast and free lunch. We provided the nation's largest child tax credit. We invested more money in education and our teachers than any time in our history. And the payoff we got for that was higher achievement, entering in with the skills necessary to thrive. That's the society we want to see. That's lifting up the American people. Those are policies that we should be very proud of, rather than than Donald Trump advocating and trying to scare people, say people are grifting off all of these programs that he's destroying. They are not doing any such thing. They're feeding their children. Their kids are going to school with full bellies, and lo and behold, they're learning and graduating. So I think what governors are doing is providing the alternative reality that Donald Trump's in. And I think that's the best way for the middle class to see real results, because he told you he would end the war in Ukraine, he would bring price, and now telling people, when did government get to tell you how many dolls your child has? I mean, this was my whole point about this, government just big enough to, and apparently now in your toy chest. That is, it's insane. It's a command economy with him dictating. There's no free market principles. My farmers have worked free market around the world, and we have thrived at that. We feed the world, we clothe the world, we power the world. Donald Trump is now deciding that he gets to do all. The thing is to enrich the industries he chooses. He's picking the winners and losers, and in this case, the billionaires are winning, the rest of us are losing.
I mean, you mentioned what I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around. He seems bizarrely flippant, maybe, about the impact of tariffs on families. I mean, there are many impacts. I mean, he gets mad when he was asked about the price of strollers going up. You mentioned he makes creepy comments about how many dolls girls need. What is it about? It seems just so disconnected. It's like it must be about something more than that. I don't know. This is for my amateur psychologist. I think when he was back in the 80s or something at Wharton in his 6 months there or whatever, and he misreads this. It's a ludicrous philosophy. No one agrees with him. Democrats put tariffs on. Yes, they're a tool. They're a scalpel. You can use them when you have unfair practices. But he's talking about the thing that drives me insane. Canada and Mexico, he's the guy who negotiated the deal. And then he turns around and says, well, we don't care much about Canada. I was glad to see the Prime Minister coming in from Canada saying, are you out of your mind? We're your biggest trading partner. They are our biggest trading partner in Minnesota. They're who we care about. He has no concept. This goes back to that idea. So many Americans thought, we need to hire a businessman to run government like business. That are wrong. No, we don't need to run government like a business, because we're not in the profit making. We're in the proving lives and looking towards the future. And this guy has a absolute failure. And I think the opening for Democrats is to work with the business community. I am Fortune 500 companies that are put at risk by this. And I'll just say this, I'm calling these folks out. They need to stand up. He threatens them. He threatens, universities. Thank goodness Harvard's standing up to them. But that's how he gets things done. He doesn't get it done through competency. He doesn't get it done through results. He gets it done through fear, intimidation. And I'm with you. I wish he could have been weirdly obsessed with like pickleball or something rather than tariffs. That's where he could spend his time. But it's on this tariff thing that doesn't work.